she is subtly wooing the Duke. And now she is going to woo Olivia on the behalf of the Duke. And she says, that doesn't matter whom I go and woo. I am going to be his wife. Hello and welcome back to NibblePop. We are doing a thorough textual reading and analysis of William Shakespeare's play Twelfth Night. We have already completed the first 3 scenes of this play. Today in this video, we are going to look at a very interesting scene, the 4th scene of the first act. Although technically the exposition part is almost over, we are still to understand the starting dynamics of relationships working out between Orsino and his new young page, Cesario. Who is Cesario? Let's find out in this scene. This is Monami Mukherjee, and those of you who have not yet subscribed, please do so that you can stay connected and get notified every time a new video comes up. One more thing I wanted to share with you. I wanted to show you the book which belonged to me, or rather which has been with me since my college days. So this was my textbook, which is called filled with all scribblings and everything from my class. This is the best version, or rather edition, which I have found. I have gone through a lot of editions, but I've always liked the Arden Shakespeare. My teacher, she insisted on us buying this. So I also want you to get hold of an Arden edition of the 12th Night if it is possible for you. If you want, I can also give a link, maybe an affiliate link in the description box so that you can find them online. And every time I read from this book, a flood of emotions, a flood of nostalgia comes and wins over me. So, okay, let's not waste any more time and jump straight to the text. As the scene begins, we see Valentine and Viola in man's attire, that is dress. They have entered the stage. So this is again the courtroom or the living quarters of Orsino. Between Valentine and Viola, there's a conversation. Who is Valentine? Valentine is like an attendant to the Duke, and at this moment, Viola has kind of replaced Valentine, as it seems. Valentine is perhaps a little bit jealous about it, but he openly admits that the Duke has really started to like Viola a lot. If the Duke continue these favors towards you, so the Duke is already showing some favors, or he is being a little bit partial towards Viola, who is dressed as a man now. Cesario, so we get the name here, okay? So Cesario is the name which Viola takes up when she dresses up like a man. You are like to be much advanced, so very soon you will be promoted. He had known you but 3 days, so not much time has passed, only 3 days have passed. He hath known you but 3 days, and already you are no stranger. So, stranger means what? The Duke doesn't know her, okay, or him. Here, Valentine feels that Cesario and Orsino have grown a certain kind of intimacy. They know each other very well. But does Orsino really know about Cesario? Of course not. He doesn't even know that Cesario is actually a woman. You either fear his humor or my negligence. So Viola says that, why are you saying that the Duke will not continue his favors? That means you have doubts about the continuity in the love that the Duke shows. So you either fear his humor, his mood, or you think that I will become negligent in my duty. That's why the Duke will not favor me anymore. That you call in question the continuance of his love. Why are you questioning if his love will continue or not? Do you think I will be negligent? Do you think his mood will change? Is he inconstant, sir, in his favors? Now, Cesario or Viola, she wants to make sure that Orsino is a stable person, and she doesn't want Orsino to be somebody who favors one person today and favors another person the next day. So she's asking here that is he inconstant or is he a stable person so far as showing favors, showing love is considered. No, believe me. So Valentine says, no, he's a very genuine person and you shouldn't fear that he will stop favoring you without any reason. Now, as they are talking, the Duke enters and then we have Curio, that same Curio who was there in the scene first, and attendants. So the Duke is always, kind of accompanied by a lot of people who are at his toes and walking with him as he comes in. I thank you. Here comes the Count. So sometimes you see Orsino is referred to as the Count. Sometimes he is referred to as the Duke. Now this might be confusing for you that is he a Duke or is he a Count? Now because these terms Duke, Count, they all belong to the feudal system, you can call them synonymous here, although they are not actually synonymous. Here Duke, Count, they all mean one thing: somebody who governs over Illyria, the head of Illyria. Okay, and therefore sometimes Orsino is referred to as Count Orsino, sometimes he is referred to as Duke Orsino. The meaning here is same, that he is the ruler of Illyria. So here comes the Count, and while the Duke is entering the stage, he is looking for Cesario. Who's her Cesario? So it feels like he really starts to miss Cesario every time he's away from Cesario. They have grown so close now. On your attendance, my lord, here. So here am I. And then Duke speaks to his other attendants, Curio and others. Stand you a while aloof. Just move away a bit. So he wants some privacy with Cesario. He wants to tell something very important to Cesario and doesn't want to be distracted by other people there. Okay, so he wants them to just move a little bit away. Cesario, thou knowest no less but all. So I have told everything about me to you. I have unclasped to thee the book even of my secret soul. So 3 days, but the Duke has opened himself up, the secretest part of him. He has opened up in front of Cesario. Therefore, good youth, address thy gait unto her. Gait means steps. So please go towards her. Take my message to her. So she means Olivia here. Okay. So he means that I have told you about my problems. Now you go and solve them. Be not denied access. Access means admittance. So anybody who is going on the behalf of the Duke is not allowed to meet Olivia, that we have seen earlier. Duke says that don't come back saying that you were not allowed. You have to make sure that she listens to you. She hears your message. And what else does he have to say? Be not denied access. Stand at her doors and tell them there thy fixed foot shall grow till thou have audience. So wait there till she decides to meet you. So the Duke really is very desperate this time. Sure, my noble lord, if she be so abandoned to her sorrow, but she knows that Olivia is very committed to her brother's memory and she has decided not to see any man. So if she is so abandoned to her sorrow as it is spoke, as people tell, she will never admit me. Be clamorous and leap all civil bounds. I don't care. I don't care if she doesn't want to see you. You be rowdy, be noisy. Clamorous means don't think about polite behavior. Be noisy, be rude if needed. Make a fuss. and leap all civil bounds. You don't have to be a gentleman there. You actually have to fight your way in if you must. Rather than make unprofited return. Don't return without some profit. Profit means without some progress, without some development in my love story. So come back with a proper reply. Don't come unprofited. Say I do speak with her. Okay, I'll go, I'll be glamorous, I'll be noisy, I'll manage to somehow meet her. Fine. But then what? What then? Oh, then unfold the passion of my love. Now the Duke switches between modes. Just now he was speaking in an aggressive way. Be glamorous, break all rules, and now he's being poetic. So we have a lot of shifts when it comes to Orsino's mood. It fluctuates, his tone fluctuates, his style fluctuates, he's becoming poetic now. Oh, then unfold the passion of my love, surprise her with discourse of my dear fate. Look at the words here, surprise her. Surprise is something which, it's a military word almost. An army suddenly surprises a town by attacking. So surprise is that. It's linked to battle, it's linked to warfare. And here, this whole military image is very disturbing. First of all, the Duke wants his messenger to be ungentlemanlike, and then he wants his messenger to be, in fact, like a soldier. Surprise her. And surprise her with what? With discourse of my dear faith. Faith here means my sincerity. Discourse means lecture, you can say. So give her a whole hearing of whatever is happening in my heart. But this choice of words, discourse, faith, surprise, this lacks a kind of immediacy. It lacks a kind of personal emotion. It's more academic, you can say, as if Orsino is trying to act a part of a romantic lover. Okay, and so he wants to show the faith that he has. And then he says something very funny. It shall become thee well to act my woes. Woes means suffering. If you go and tell her how I am suffering, it will be better. Why? Because you're a good-looking person. You're a young person. And in you, if she hears my sufferings, she will feel better. She will attend it better in thy youth than in nuncios of more grave aspect. Nuncios, the messenger. Who was the messenger who went to Olivia in the first scene? We have seen Valentine. So Valentine is an old man, like an aged person, middle-aged. So he is saying that maybe Olivia will be more interested to hear what I have to say if she hears it from a young and handsome man. What kind of a man sends a better looking, young looking person to woo his lover or beloved? I mean, there's a high chance that your target woman will fall in love with the man you are sending, because the man you are sending is more suitable for her. You are yourself saying that it shall become thee well to act my woes. So Orsino is what? He's a completely unrealistic person. If he really believes that Cesario is very good looking and Olivia might have a good feeling and might agree to hear because Cesario looks so good and so young, then normal human beings act in a particular way. See, if Orsino was normal, he would have kept Cesario away from Olivia. Under no circumstances should they meet, because Olivia will attend him better than anybody else because Cesario is so more eligible. But we see Orsino sending Cesario as his messenger, hoping that this will make his chances better. This is a very weird kind of illusion we see here. A strange lack of reality or the sense of reality. I think not so, my lord. Viola knows that this is not a good idea. No, this is not a good idea at all. Dear lad, believe it. Now, the Duke is trying to convince Viola or Cesario why Cesario is suited for this act or for this service as a messenger. And he goes on convincing her using strange kinds of adjectives. Let's see. For they shall yet belie thy happy years that say thou art a man. Those people who think that you are a man, they don't know that you are still so young. And now pay close attention. Diana's lip is not more smooth and rubious. Now he is concentrating on the physical features of his attendant Cesario. And he notices, or rather he has noticed all these 3 days, that this guy has such beautiful lips. And he's comparing them to Diana's lip. Diana, the chaste goddess of forests and hunting. You remember in scene 1, we had talked about Diana. In what context? Orsino was talking about hunting with Curio, and he said that my desires have become like hounds chasing me. And in that context, I had talked to you about the story of Actaeon and Diana. So in his mind, Orsino has this image of himself being like Actaeon, who is chased by his desires. And why is he chased? Because he had seen Diana. And he is comparing Cesario's lips to Diana's lip. So apparently he knows that this is my page boy, this is my attendant. But when you make these comparisons, this comes from the bottom of your heart, and somehow we get to see what's going on in the subconscious of this man. There is a kind of a chemistry that is building up on a subconscious level between Orsino and his attendant Cesario. Let's read more. Diana's lip is not more smooth and rubious. Rubious means it's like ruby red. This word is coined by Shakespeare. Shakespeare coined a lot of words. Thy small pipe, your voice, your windpipe rather, is as the maiden's organ. Now when boys grow up, at one point of time their voices crack. But in case of Cesario, the voice hasn't cracked. Of course, why should the voice crack? She is a woman. But the Duke doesn't know that. So he's saying your voice is still like a maiden's voice. Shrill and sound, and all is semblative, a woman's part. Semblative means it is it is very similar to. Woman's part, on one hand, it means that you can very well act like a woman because all your features are so feminine. And this word woman's part is also very important in the context of Shakespearean times because, as I've told you repeatedly, back then women actors were not allowed on stage, and therefore boys whose voices had not cracked yet, they were used as woman characters, or they played the part of women on stage. So the Duke is saying that you are capable of going and playing a woman's part because your voice is not cracked yet and you look so beautifully feminine. I know thy constellation is right apt for this affair. And in these 3-4 lines, maybe he is gazing into Cesario's eyes and he has gotten into a trance. They're looking at each other, and he has been caught in a moment. Does that moment make the audience uncomfortable because, two men are actually looking at each other? In today's context, of course, no. Back then also, it was quite natural for men to have fascination for other men. The problem started basically during the Victorian times. The rigidity of values, the preference for this stereotype gender roles. So we will talk about those things some other day. Here, it's important that a moment is created. A moment which is very important for Cesario also. And then the Duke wants to shake himself out of that moment. And he says, some 4 or 5 attend him. Okay, 4 or 5 of you go with him, help him. So he just wants to be away from that moment. All, if you will, please, all of you leave. Why? He wants to be alone now. For I myself am best when least in company. When I'm alone, I'm best. Because he tends to mess up a lot when he is around people, at least at this moment. Prosper well in this. And then he says his final words to Cesario before Cesario leaves for Olivia's place. Prosper well in this. Get me good results. And thou shalt live as freely as thy Lord, to call his fortunes thine. And then you can be as free as me, and you can say, all my property is yours. Like, he's a very generous person. Of course, he doesn't mean it literally. He won't give away his dukedom to Cesario. But this statement has a dramatic irony in it, because deep down we know that Cesario actually wants to be the wife of the Duke. And if she prospers in that, if she manages to do that, then of course she will have whatever the Duke has. I'll do my best to woo your lady. So Cesario commits that, okay, I'll try my best. And then there's an aside. Aside is where there might be several characters on stage, but one character comes to the side of the stage, or maybe turns a little away from others and speaks something which only the audience can hear. So aside is usually a short speech. It's not a soliloquy. Soliloquy is where a character is standing on stage and speaking all alone, and there are no other characters present. So that is soliloquy, and that's usually long. Okay, it stretches more than a couple of lines. We have remarkable soliloquies in Macbeth, Hamlet, in most of tragedies. In case of aside, we have short sentences where the character tells the audience what he or she intends to do. Okay, and what does Viola tell us? Yet a bartful strife. What a difficult task. What a fix am I in. Whoever I woo, myself would be his wife. So she is here on double duty, it seems. She is subtly wooing the Duke because she wants to make sure the Duke completely gets dependent on her, okay, and falls in love with her. And now she is going to woo Olivia on the behalf of the Duke. And she says, that doesn't matter whom I go and woo, I am going to be his wife. Okay, so she is totally in love with the Duke, it seems. So these 3 days must have been very important to develop this kind of intimacy where Viola begins to trust Orsino too. So if we have faith in Viola's judgment, we can have faith that Orsino is not that bad match perhaps. Otherwise she wouldn't have liked him so much to get married to him. Anyway, so that brings us to the end of the fourth scene. And in the fifth scene, we will again go to the household of Olivia, and now we know what to expect there, whom to meet there, but we don't know how the events will turn out. So if you want to know more about what happens in the fifth scene of Act 1, you have to tune in to our channel when we upload the next video. And that's going to be very, very soon. Thank you for sticking around till the end. I hope you have not skipped any part of this video. If you have any problems in understanding any of the references, please comment in the comment section and I will definitely address your problems. Thank you all once again. This is Monami Mukherjee signing off. Till our next video, stay happy, stay subscribed.